Hey gang, welcome to another edition of Doc Schlock by request, where it's a review of the movie Abby, and this request comes to us from fellow YouTuber Parsnip Burger. Now this movie was labeled as a blaxploitation version of The Exorcist, and while this movie and The Exorcist have few similarities, there are a lot of differences, but still, it was pretty bad. It's the story. Oh, goodness. It's a story of a priest named Emmett and his wife Abby who move into a house in Louisville, Kentucky. Everything seems okay, but shortly after they move in there, everything starts going to, well, you know where. Emmett's father Garrett is on an expedition in Nigeria where he discovers this box that apparently contains the evil spirit Eshu Gesundheit. Thank you. Sorry, bad habit. Anyway, the spirit is released and goes to, where else? Louisville, Kentucky, and possesses Abby. Now, you would kind of sort of think maybe it would be sort of like a really cool possession, but instead, no, apparently the demon attacks Abby while she's in the shower. And then after that, everything starts getting weird around the house, and well, they're trying to think that maybe taking her to a doctor will do some good, give her some medication will do her some good. Obviously, no, it doesn't. So after Abby starts acting strangely in church, to friends, and especially to Emmett, in a scene that basically makes me think of Family Guy, where Abby attacks Emmett and, well, let's just say it was sort of like, where Peter tells Brian the next day that last night Lois was the man. That's sort of like that. So, yeah. Anyway, Emmett tries desperately to get a hold of his father, who's in Nigeria, and finally, after being able to get a hold of him and finally getting him to come to Louisville, he heads there, meets up with Abby. Of course, Abby flirts with her father-in-law. And that's when Garrett realizes something's not right here. So Abby goes out for a night of having fun, hooks up with the church, the guy who drives the hearse, I'm not sure what they call him, gives him a night he'll never forget and winds up killing him. The same. Oh, goodness. Garrett goes to the bar where Abby is and performs an exorcism and is able to get the spirit of Eshu Gesundheit. Thank you. Did it again. Sorry. Out of Abby. But it actually turns out it is not really the evil spirit of you-know-who. It's more like a stand-in. So sometime after the exorcism in the bar, Abby and Emmett fly off somewhere and live happily ever after. Yeah. Why did this movie suck? If it was trying to be sort of like The Exorcist, it was more like Repossessed. This movie was not really all that scary. You kind of laugh at it a lot of times, and it's just, I mean, it's trying to be its own movie, but in a lot of ways, it was just like, I mean, the language that comes out of Abby / the demon's mouth, it's funny. It's really funny. But this movie was not really all that good. If it was trying to be sort of what they said it was a blaxploitation version of The Exorcist, it failed miserably. But if it was trying to be its own standalone movie, I'll give it credit. It did just that. But ultimately, this movie and The Exorcist, no, I would not put that on a double feature bill in any theater or on DVD or anything like that. So yeah. The movie starred William Marshall, who was probably more famous for being in the movie Blackula, and he was also famous for being on a children's TV show. A very popular TV show. In fact, his character, every time he was on the TV show, they had a theme song for him. It was a TV show that starred a guy who had a little run-in with the law, and his show was canceled. He's right down there in the right-hand corner. His picture's below the one labeled The Exorcist. Still no idea. All right, well, here's probably the role he was mostly famous for.
you heard us correctly. He'll be right in directly to present the cartoon perfectly. Do-a-do-a-do-a-do-a. The king of cartoons. King of cartoons!
Yep, The Exorcist was the king of cartoons from Pee-wee's Playhouse. So there you guys have it. Abby. She doesn't need a man anymore. The devil is her lover now. Well, the devil's not really much of a man from what I've been told. Special thanks to fellow YouTuber Parsnip Burger for his request. And do go check out his channel. Check out his videos. And do subscribe to him, please, as well. And if you like my videos, feel free to subscribe. If you have a horror, sci-fi horror, comedy horror, or fantasy horror movie that felt like it was a ripoff, but kind of wasn't, send it my way and I'll get on it ASAP. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. And until next time, for Doc Schlock, by request, as always, stay strong and rock on.